Let's switch that back up. Alrighty, so again, this is what my screen looks like. So far we haven't received any new suggestions yet. These are all time marked to last month. But hey, now that we're here, I don't know what I want to do with this yet. I could always just add a bunch of particle effects. Oh right, there's music in this. Let's turn that off for a minute. So what we did so far was we had it so that you can actually... Oh, so I did want to fix the rotation calculation a little bit. Because it's very easy to flip around in this, where it just kind of does a weird 180 flip that I don't... this one kind of makes sense, actually. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I want to implement that yet. So I can already see that figuring out the orientation of which way is up is very difficult in this game so far, so that might be something that I might want to consider fixing. Also, it's really dark now, so that's not very useful.
Oh, yeah.
It's currently lit on the bottom, which is probably not good. I should probably have it dim out the intensity towards the... once the sun is down below the horizon. Or Jupiter. It's technically Jupiter. It might not make much sense to have this first-person perspective now that I think of it.
I guess it depends on what you're trying to do.
Right. Because earlier we said we wanted it to be like a maze game, but so like the first-person perspective doesn't help from that perspective. No pun intended. Yeah, because like I'm playing through a bunch of these different planes, and it doesn't help me to understand the context as to which way I'm moving and why. So, with that in mind, I probably want to change that one specific aspect. Oh, that's really weird and bizarre. Anyways. Yeah, so this one we set to camera freestyle, but copy this over. Yep, that's fine. Oh, that's strange. Not sure why that's happening per se. Oops. That should... It doesn't for whatever reason. Negative 45, 45, negative 45. Oop. Oh, strange. Oh, I see what I did. I took out the player. There we go. Should make things a little more obvious. Okay. Let me know if some new ideas has been posted.
Sure. I don't have any people viewing right now, so I'll keep tabs on it.
Thank you. Alright, so that seems to be more or less okay. Not a huge fan of these really bad angles. Three. There we go. See if that does any better. And we shall update the overlay to 3D follow or something to that effect. There we go. I kind of like this angle slightly better. It's less jarring. Okay, so I can see that this XZ plane should be what's selected by default. But the problem is that human sight is going to look up here first. So I probably want to move the XZ plane to the upper right hand corner, then move these respectively. So XZ currently positioned in this wacky location here. We probably want to move you in this location.
Taco Pill says, hello, Waves. I have you on mute, but I can see it.
Oh no. XZ right here. Right now the viewport is set to 0.5.5 and Y height. Oh, okay, so the height is 0.5. We probably want to pull it up 0.5 and then at 0. There we go. I wanted to move the YZ to the right. Like so. And then move this YZ. Oh. Over here. And then we just move the XZ, so the XY we probably want to move back to the bottom. Then this one right here, we want to also move down to the bottom. So let's try that new configuration and see if that does any good. Alright, so first off, it's switching to that by default, which is not good. Camera selector. What does it choose as default? Oh, here, player. Current access. Let's set that to access.exe. Alright, so that makes me a little comfortable. That makes me a little more comfortable because I can see the direction that the thing is moving. And then this is the up-down movement in theory. It looks like the controls are comfortable here. And then this is the strange moving into the depth field, which I'm really not sure how to feel about as of yet. So then we could potentially start actually pulling together some sort of simple level. Haven't figured out how I want to do this. One wonders. Let's see if I can do something as really silly. See if I can pull this off. Let's commit this first. Oh. Moving camera location around to something more intuitive.
Okay.
Then, so let's see if I can figure out a way to make this work. I was thinking, I think all the time, but that's besides the point. I was thinking if I can use the Perlin noise. Yeah, let's see if I can pull this silliness off. First things first, I want to create a prefab, and I'm just going to call this as voxel. Voxel 1. And it is literally just going to have a cube. There, amazing.
Very nice cube.
Yes. Beautiful. Best cube there ever was. Yeah, let's just do it here. I think that's all I really need to care about. So then I'm gonna want to attach to this a new script. Just gonna call it voxel. Namespaces so that I don't have I have a lot less conflicts to deal with. And then if I can see if I can make this into no, I don't want a pooling manager. I pool object. Okay, and then let's see what sort of silliness I need to create to make this happen. Original prefab, blah blah blah. After deactivate. I think that's it. Okay. Neat. So leave that alone for now. We may want to actually, yeah, public, I think it's vector3 int coordinates. And then we'll leave it at that. Yeah, then I'm gonna delete that. Look for a singleton. Oh, this looks pretty bad. One of these, there's the pooling manager right here. I'm gonna add the voxel here. Nope. There. Have it kind of preload that for the time being. And then the player, where this is going to be the level generator. And then I'm going to create a script called level generator. Come on. Compile. Sure. Namespace, project. We're gonna plop in that level generator, or we're gonna plop in, I can't talk. We're gonna plop in that voxel, all voxels. I think that's probably not serializable. Oh, system.serializable, excuse me. We're gonna create a quick struct, voxel info, and it's going to take in public voxel, because I'm going to be very lazy for the moment. Unit and vector2 range. I think that's going to make sense. Yeah, I think this will make sense. And then voxel info, all voxels. Then I'm gonna apply this only on the start function, but I'm gonna also write a quick fix me. Remove voxels based on distance, then create new ones. This is going to have some problems, but that is okay. I'll figure that part out later. And then I'll have a simple, how do I want to do it? A hash set? What good would a hash set do? It would make the removal very quick. but a list will allow me to parse it. Relatively quickly. Sorry, choices. Gotta think this through.
Oh yeah. No, I get it. Pressure up there.
Yeah, I'll go with list. It's not going to be as efficient as I like, but so long as we're limiting the number of voxels we're creating, I don't think that's going to serve to be too big of a problem. And we'll say created voxels. And I am going to plop in here distant float, no, int distance from player, and range, that's going to be 10 radius from player actually. And I'm going to say 10 for now, even though that's probably not going to look good. Then created voxels would be mathf dot. Oh, let me not make that read only. But I will also turn this into a property. If created voxels is null, make this null. I just want to be clear, even though I know by default it's going to be null regardless. Public.
Sometimes it helps to be explicit.
Right. Created voxels equals new list of voxels, and then radius from player. That times 2 to the second power, because I am lazy. There. Why does this give a float? So now that we have that, I'm going to take the silly method of for int x equal negative radius from player, and while x is less than or equal to radius from player, increment x. Do the same thing for y. Then we are going to consult the mathf.parallel noise, which in theory, it only takes in 2 coordinates. I thought it took 3. Well. Unity Perlin noise 3 coordinates. This is kind of useful. No. Unity noise algorithm Yeah, 3 noise algorithm, actually, that's useful. Oh. Add 1D noise on its test. Sure, let's go with this. Berlin. So, okay, interesting. They actually have the credits written on there. Show an explorer. I want you to go here. Yes. Perlin dot equals FBM noise oops. Oh, so it is possible to just feed in 3 different numbers. Okay. Float noise multiplier I'm gonna say this is set to 1 for the time being, and then range it from 0.01 f to 2f for the time being, and we'll worry about that later. Noise, we'll say x. Oh, I forgot the third coordinate, the z coordinate, the most mysterious of all coordinates. And this means that this actually needs to be powered by 3. Whoops, it's cubed. What am I thinking? X to the noise coordinate, y multiplied by the noise coordinate, and z multiplied by the noise coordinate. We'll grab whatever the float value is. And this is probably the part where I'll need to feed this into another function. So we'll say voxel private, well, get voxel float value. And so I will have voxel prefab defined here, and have prefab equal get voxel, then feed it the Perlin noise. I would also have a vector here to indicate the location. Location, and then I'll say location dot x equals x, location dot y equals y, location dot z equals z, update location, grab voxel, the Then game. Oh. I'll go with instance, and this instance is grabbed from singleton, which is something I created. Dot get pooling manager. Oh. I should just add this. Using Omiya Games namespace, using Omiya Games dot global namespace. Pooling manager dot get instance of voxel from prefab there. And then from there, we position the dot transform dot position to location. Grab an instance of the voxel. Position the voxel. And then this get voxel is literally just going to go through a list of voxels. Oh, I should probably check to see if this is a prefab or not. Prefab does not equal null, then do so. Otherwise, it's null. Don't bother. There we go. And then it goes through the list. Oh, it needs to add this too. Create a voxel, add instance. When we have all voxels, we're going to go through a for each voxel. Consider in all voxels. How do I want to do this? Originally I was thinking it will choose a random voxel between if two of them are in the same range. You know what? I'll probably still do that. Yeah, I'll probably still do something similar to that. Get voxel cache. If get voxel cache happens to be null, then initialize it with the all voxels dot length. That's just for efficiency purposes. That sets the initial capacity of that list. Get voxel cache if range if consider dot range there dot x is, since we're checking to see what the value is, the value has to be within that range. So long as the value is greater than voxel.range, excuse my typo right there, and the value is less than consider.range.y, then check if value is in between. Then get voxel cache dot add consider voxel.unit. Also, I forgot to clear the cache.
So I'll be right back.
Set up the cache list. Go through all voxels. And then, once it's done that, return a random voxel. Return voxel equals null if get voxel cache.count is greater than 0. Actually, then I'm just gonna get voxel cache.0. Feel like there should be a better way of doing this, but oh well. And if it's greater than 1. Mathf or random.range. We're gonna go with 0 to get voxel cache.count. Then return that voxel. Okay, so then in theory, I should be able to plop one more voxel here. It's going to ask for info, and I'm going to have it so that it only appears when it's in the negative 0.5 and 0.5 range. There should be a voxel here. There. What? There. Eat it. So let's see if this does any good. Oh. Yep, I need to pause that real quick for a minute. Okay, so it basically created a voxel at every unit. Okay, so that's fine. We'll have this at 0.1 and see if that does any better. We'll also set this to 0. How about that? Okay, here we go. That's slightly better. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, this is not too bad. We just travel really, really fast. Whoop. We did it.
Wait.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I expected that to happen. You can already see the big problem right here. But hey, we did it. We actually created a new level.
Nice.
Doi. Now I can see that it's already not liking. It's already really not liking the performance here. So let's try seeing if we can set this to static and see if that does any better. But hey, it works, and that's what matters.
Indeed.
Yeah. Does this do any better? Well, we got procedural generation into this game.
Nice.
They said it couldn't be done.
They were wrong.
Yeah. Boop, 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 boop. It is really hard to figure out where the heck I am. But you can actually see the procedurally generated level right there. Yay!
Yay.
Oh, whoops. Got one with this. I noticed how completely useless the last coordinate system is. I can pretty much guide through the rest with just these two. Alright, so we need a system where we can figure out a way to hide those voxels over time. But, and for that matter, probably that range. I'm thinking through how I want to do that range value because I really don't like the fact that it's being set up right here. You know what? I will just set it up right in the voxel script. Simple and sweet. That'll create an error because it's selecting a voxel here. Let's create a serialized field. We'll make this a vector2 range. Oh, right. I don't know, does that actually work? Unity, vector2 as range. Oh, strange. Alright, well, I guess that's not an option. Remove the setter for this. This itself. Player move. Is there an instance of this? Probably not. Probably for good reason. But serialize field, player move, player. Actually, this could just be a transform, to be completely honest. We could also set up I'll call this initial setup. Transform, we'll make this vector2 int, initial position, this should be a vector3 int actually, of which we'll just set it to that. And then simply check to see, greater than. Okay. Dot x. Dot x. Yeesh, this is a pain. Yeah, no, I'm just thinking this through. Y plus z plus. I feel like there's a way I can easily do this iterator. Vector 3 all coordinates this can't be static. I see. Next coordinate equal from position x, y, next dot z equals z, next coordinate, and then I can remove all this by just saying for each vector 3 int position in there get rid of all that, and that should in theory enumerator. For each statement cannot be operated on the variable of type enumerator because enumerator does not contain. I think I want enumerable actually. Aha, yes, okay. I'll just call this pause. Pause.x, pause.y, pause.z. Should be that from position needs to actually be offset by initial position. Herp-de-derp. Right. So this is actually incorrect. Yeah, vector 3 int dot 0. We'll just feed that there, and then this needs to be here. I swear I know what I'm doing. I was able to prove I got procedurally generating stuff working, so hey. Evidence. Whoops. I feel like there's an easier way of doing this. Yes. Offset coordinates from position minus initial position. Next coordinates we can kind of blissfully disregard. Okay, no we can't. It does not like that. Yeah, this can just be this instead, which actually makes things easier for me. It's much easier to read. Okay, and then we have this here. But the purling noise needs to be offset. Oh, I'm in the summoner. I'm just gonna blurt out inappropriate words. Yeah, and flat I'll admit I actually don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Oh no.
Alright, yeah, I think I know what I'm doing. And that is on me for not thinking this through. Public float. Actually, I'm just going to make this private. Float. Noise value. Grab this. Say return that. Copy that over. I'll worry about that part later. This was actually correct the first time around. The noise value is what I want to offset. So there we go. Can this be converted to a vector 3? Yes. Wow. That does make things a little easier. There. I chose this, and I am thinking to myself, well, yeah, let's just stick with this for now, because the intent behind this is to at least help me figure out how I want to do it so that if I travel farther... Oh, of course nothing is going to be generated. Object not set to an instance. Byakulas. I forgot to set it. Yes, I did. Here we go. And then I'll make this to 1 for now. Oh dear. Huh. Okay, so I only generated that. That's strange. Yeah, that's really strange. That I only generated this. Okay, well. Does need to know where the player is. I'll probably plop that in there for the sake of simplicity. And then I could probably make this even smaller for the heck of it. And then Z, it's going through all the Z's correctly. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's fine. I'm trying to make the gaps larger, so that's on purpose. And then instead of a radius of 10, let's see if we can bump that up to 20 and see what happens. Oop. Okay, so far that's looking like something. That's weird that it's moving off further into the edge of the universe. I don't quite understand. That's probably because I goofed at this. No? Let's get the original coordinates in there and see if that's the reason. And if that is not, then I have suspicions.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is not looking good. Alright, so what's going on here? This looks correct to me. That looks correct to me. That looks correct to me. Where did I goof? Uh-oh. Unity froze. I don't know what it's freezing on, actually.
Oh, that's not good.
No. Very strange. Where did I mess up? Well, let's add the voxels in there. Why not? First attempt at adding voxels. make sure the process completely died properly. I don't see it. Let's double check to be certain that this is actually working. It should, in theory, debug the log pause, and then I'm gonna completely have it not do anything. Alrighty. They are all in the z coordinates of -10. Why? Because I forgot to switch that value. Alright, now I know. Let's try that again. Doesn't like the extra 10 cubed I added in there. Sure is struggling. I hope the CPU is not killing it, the stream. It doesn't look like it.
No, looks pretty good.
I don't think it likes to I think it's just downright frozen. Just trying too hard. Okay. So, note to self, that's something that I should probably be careful about. I am taking the very not at all clever method of not attempting to look at what the surface is supposed to look like. So the reason why it's kind of faltering right now is because it's actually trying to create voxels even at locations where you can't see it. Like sandwiched between a couple of other voxel cells, so it doesn't really like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna cancel this. Made it work a little too hard.
Oh. That happens sometimes, right?
Alright, let's stick with 10 and see if this fixes my last problem. Probably does. Looks like it. Yeah, albeit poorly. So it doesn't like that coordinate. We should probably offset that initial coordinates by 10 in the x direction and 10 in the z direction. There we go. So now we have this enclaving right here. Look at that. Aww. It's all coming together. Just like that. See?
Nice.
Yeah. So when we actually play this, alright, so you can see a bunch of blocks on top. I'm gonna have to come up with a new shader to figure out how I want to destroy those blocks to be not nearly as obstructive as they are right now. And then here, oh, okay, okay. Let's go down a little bit. There we go. Nice. Well, this came out a little more nicely than I thought. I do want to make the player slower this time, after all. I know I'm fussy about this, but oh well.
Hey, it's your game.
Right.
Be fussy. No.
Let's also add some headlights to our character. Let's yeah, add a point light. No, I don't want a point light, I want a spotlight. Yeah. Shadow types. Oh, okay. Then don't bother. Let's increase that and then also increase the range. See if that does any better. Okay, that's not actually as useful as I thought. Let's stick with point light after all. Yeah, let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, that looks really nice.
It does.
Yeah, so if I get closer to it, you can actually, okay, so yeah, that, just need to decrease the range a bit, and probably want to give it a more bluer hue, and decrease the intensity. There we go, that's a little more like it. Nice. See, this is a little more like spelunking. Wow, this camera view is very not useful at all. Alright. We did it. We made a level generator.
Awesome.
Yeah. Kinda a little too blue. I would culling not have it process on these sort of stuff. Let's update the drag to be a little higher. Yeah, unfortunately, I think for the shaders, yeah, I don't know of a good idea to post-process these. Oh well, I'll have to think about that a little more. Okay, well, now that we got that working, I kind of want that level generator to follow with you. So we need to grab basically the initial transform location of where you were at, and then see if you moved beyond the central location that enough that it needs to generate some new voxels to move around in. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, we're only a little more than an hour in. That's good to know. Player, we're gonna say last player position and current player position. So we're going to calculate what the last player position here is. If it exceeds 1, but if it exceeds -1, we can call off the decimal point. So we'll want a floor. Anything so far from the chat?
No, nobody said anything, and we haven't gotten any suggestions. I'll put it out there.
Mm-hmm. I think this is all we need to do. Calculate the player position, and then thinking to myself, there's gotta be an easier way to do this. I can. How do I want to do this? One thing we can try to do is see if we can get one axis working well. And so, instead of this created voxels, I'm thinking to myself I might want a dictionary of this. And then have it keyed by vector 3 int. We're going to add to that location dot instance Can I just directly, oh I can. Well, that is completely useless, this thing. And then that should let me really quickly eliminate things. So let me work on eliminating first and then figure out how I want to add stuff later, because it's just the opposite operation from that point. So, and eliminating voxels is more performant as a consequence. What we can do is we can check to see what the current, so I can probably convert this to a function. Yeah, let's stick with that for private static vector 3 int get position. I'm gonna say ref vector 3 or pause. Not really feeling it. In fact, I can just do this instead, and this would actually be probably more performant. Vector 3 int result. There. So now, when I do this, this doesn't have to be a ref. Oh. Last player position. That does have to be a ref. Then I'm gonna throw this down there because I don't need it nearly as much. Well, I guess I can leave it up there for now. Then on update, I'm gonna set position to player.position ref last current player position. And yeah, how do I want to do this? Let's do the super silly method of if current player position dot x is greater than last player position dot x, Last player position .x doesn't actually make a whole lot of sense to me now that I think of it. But current player position, then we want to increment that by 1 at the end of this operation. But that also means that since we're going to the positive x direction, we need to delete all the blocks in the negative negative x direction. So then we will have to do this whole surrounding coordinate shenanigans where the x is consistent, but the y and the z are not. So I can copy and paste this. Where the x is consistent, but the y and the z are not. So y and the z are not, that's good. And then the x should be here, last player dot x minus radius from player, because that's in the negative direction. Then this would be the new coordinates that we need. And then we can just say coordinate and then based off of that coordinate we can say under created voxels dot contains key this if there is a voxel here, created voxels, this coordinate, game object set act, or I think there's a, yeah, I think the method I prefer was just saying Omiya Games dot global dot pooling manager deactivate. Oh, return to pool. Return this to pool. Then created voxels dot remove this. Let's see if that works, and then let's figure out a way to make that make the programming portion of that more hassle-free. So it is the positive x direction that, and this is not a useful view. Let me unmaximize that and see if I can have these two views happening at the same time. Unity is probably not going to like this. My computer is probably not going to like this, but hey,
no.
we're dealing with it. Alright, so here it is. Yep, but you can tell from the frame rate, it really hates this. But we're going to try to move in the positive x direction, which is this way. And what should be happening as I move farther into that direction, oh, yep, you can see it. You can see it getting rid of those slices. So it's working. That's the important part. And so now we just need to have this reflected in all directions. Yar. This is. This is a little nerve-wracking from my perspective. Surrounding coordinates. X. We'll just say int X because I'm not quite feeling it today.
Oh, nothing. Not getting any. Nobody's suggesting anything. I've been checking periodically.
Okay.
Chat is very quiet.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it doesn't like that. That's fine. So I can easily summarize this with for each vector coordinate right here in surrounding x coordinates from last player position, comma, and then in this case, this is the x direction right here. I can get rid of this. I don't need this being set because it's already set from the function. Then I'm checking to see whether the voxel is there, and then I'm removing it. Remove voxels in the negative x direction. And then I can do an else. And then this can be in the positive direction. Oh. I can basically create 3 different versions of these. Here's the x, here's the y, and the last one's going to be z. Y, z, and then I'm just going to copy and paste this for here. And then I'm going to copy and paste that. That's going to cause that to tab, but that's fine because I'm going to do this. And that shall take care of that problem. Yeah, I don't see how much I can fix this before. No. Adjust X plane. But then I'll make the same thing for Y and Z. So right now, again, I'm just focusing on. Actually, no, I should just focus on the x-plane only. Make sure that that works in both directions, and then finally we can start adding it, and then I can duplicate that function over and over again. So I should be able to just kind of travel around for a little bit, and then consequently, yeah, you can actually visually see it being destructed over here. Okay, cool. So that's working. I completely eliminated all those. That's good to see. The next thing I need to do here is make sure that I add voxels in the positive x direction. And so how would this appear? I'll have to say plus plus radius from the player plus 1. Then in theory yeah, I should just be able to convert this to add voxel. I don't even know why. Oh, well, I guess that's kind of useful. Oh. There's a prefab, there's the instance. I could just return a voxel that way. Yeah. And then the rest of it is not really all that important. There, and now I should be able to, wow, this is getting cumbersome. Don't need that there. Don't need this here either. I guess with the noise value stuck over there, I don't need to separate that into a function anymore. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't see that being used multiple times. Yeah, I don't see that being used multiple times. So, pause. Parallel noise offset position. need the noise value anymore. Alrighty. And then for here, we'll just say add voxel to the next coordinate. There. And then we should be able to do the same thing for this, except this time in the negative direction. So now we should be seeing a miracle. No, I'm just kidding. We should be seeing a scientifically calculated estimate. All right, it's chugging along. It really does not like this. Yeah, look at that. That's actually really weird. I wonder why it does that. Oh, well, the ceiling is obvious. Reveal yourself. Oh, there's a little crevice right there. See if that goes anywhere. No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like it's creating or destroying. Did I misunderstand how my pooling manager works? No, it's correct. It's correct understanding. Really doesn't like this, the looping part of it, which I find interesting. Yeah, I can make this more efficient. Yeah, how do I want to approach this? So the main problem is shouldn't be allowed to edit that struct. So potentially there we go. That's a silly hack, but oh well, I think I can pull this off. That would drastically reduce the number of cycles that it has to go through. And then I would have to toggle between one or the other. So in this case, it's gonna be nonsensical, but that's okay. To add false. If true and this operation, else if to add equals false, then add this operation. To add equals not to add. It makes sense in my head.
Okay. That sounds good.
This actually makes the next part easier to deal with, in theory, because right. So I should be able to then turn this into a separate function. Adjust x plane. Yeah, I know. Int remove x, int add x. And then in this part, I get to drag and drop that to here. Then I can do the same thing, except the opposite direction. That kinda sorta makes it look like the code is shorter. Whatever. Yeah, let's see if that improves the performance by a noticeable amount. This is the moment of truth everyone was looking for. so we're outside the range. We're gonna go this direction. Argument. Item with a key has already been added. Okay, that is not good. Why would it do that? Why? Because I got my conditionals reversed.
Oh. That'll do it.
That happens to me often. It's almost time, so we just need to make sure that we've made the rest of this work. Oops. Alright, here we go. Oh. Oh. It looks slightly more efficient. Oh, whoa. An item with that value has already been added. Nice. It looks like it's working. I may just want to do a few things to make this a little more smoother.
Okay.
Which is to say, I'm gonna turn off shadows. It's not gonna look great, but whatever. Let's see if that does any better. I also think I may have to GPU instance this, seeing that they're always going to look the same.
Okay.
I'll have to research on how you're supposed to do that next time, so that we can increase the performance of it. But yeah, GPU instancing should make it a lot faster. Because they all have the same material and they all pretty much look the same.
Yeah, makes sense.
Is it actually doing anything? Well, let's commit what I have. Got the generate level generator to follow the player in the x-axis. We know up to that point seems to work just fine, so... Unity, please don't. Come back to me. Alright, well, that looks like it might work. Sorry, I'm thinking to myself.
No worries.
I feel like that should work. Yeah, I feel like that should work. Yeah. Yeah. Adjust X plane, and I could just say adjust plane this. Yeah, that should just work. Then that will let me create these three functions really quickly, which is adjust the Y plane, the remove Y, the add. In fact, I should just call this remove and add. Oops, I don't know what that did. Call this Z, next coordinate Y, next coordinate Z. This currently claims those neither exist. Switch that to like that. Switch that to that. Switch that to that. Switch that to that. And then I can add, I can duplicate this to 3 other coordinates, Y and Z, and I just have to make sure that all these instances are changed to .y instead. And these instances to Z. There we go. Then just check to see where the heck this is created. And then now that has Z, we just need to make sure that that's applied to the Y plane and the Z plane. And now our game is gonna chug. Our game has no mercy on my own computer. Why have I built this? I think that'll be it for now.
This is like a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Really made a lot of progress.
Alright. This is the scary part. We're gonna see if it's working or not. Oh, it looks like it's working. Argument exception, an item key has already been created. How? In which access? Well, we were in the XZ plane, so it would have been the Z axis. Yeah, that should work. That looks like that should work. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it's definitely because of the z-axis direction. Which begs the question, why would that happen in the z-axis specifically? Because these calculations look the same to me. Is it because the next coordinate z is not going in the correct direction? No. Positive z. Oh. Ah ha 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 ha. I just see it. I forgot to rename these. The complexity that I've created for myself.
It's the best kind of complexity, isn't it?
Yes. I don't see any errors, so I guess that's a good thing. Oh, look at that. Nice. It's like an actual spelunking.
That is really cool.
Yeah, we did it.
Great job.
Cast shadow, receive shadow. Let's not make it static either. Got the maze generation working. And following the player. So in theory then, if we wanted to, for efficiency purposes, we could actually just kind of reduce that size to like say 5, for example. And we can also shrink our own player to be significantly smaller than that. So yeah, that's fine for now. And then right now it's like this. Yeah, I will shrink the player graphics to half its size. There we go. And then really reduce the speed. And drop the level generator in there. So let's see if that silliness does anything. Alright, so I'll need to figure out a couple of these other things, but I think this is promising.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot more efficient because it has a lot less things to monitor. I can add some really, really thick fog Yeah, that. I'll use the old school method. That we need a really, really thick fog.
Hey, old school works, right?
Right. People are going to be asking, why is the draw distance so terrible? And I'll just be like, because of really, really thick fog.
That's what they did with which game? Shoot, I'm blanking. Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, yeah.
They did that was.
This does feel like I'm actually exploring, though, which is actually really cool. Yay, procedurally generated levels. Alright, well, I guess next time we're going to Taro's going to figure out how thick his fogs needs to be before he's satisfied.
Yep. Cool.
Save that for now. Save project. Alright, well, I'll see you all